The 50th anniversary of the National Trails System Act of 1968. ALDHA decided that it would really be great if we had an effort underway where we could get groups of our members here who'd like to hike to work in hiking groups and hike the 11 National Scenic Trails. And so that was the focus behind doing it, as well as celebrating the 50th anniversary of the National Trails Act.
Georgia, Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland, PA, New Jersey, and New York. I hiked my 50-plus miles in Pennsylvania close to my home. We all sent our pictures to Deb Coleman, who was originally going to do this presentation, and she put them together in the order that of states, and they're going to be shown, and my narrative is not going to go with it, but you're just going to see some pictures. First of all, I feel like kind of a rookie in this group of hikers. I'm in all the long-distance hikers. Some of the folks here have hiked the Appalachian Trail multiple times. We've got triple crowners, double triple crowners, triple crowners.
Really is crowded. Here we go. All right, so those are the 43 passages. You can see part of them there. The part that we actually hiked, or that I actually hiked, Ron and I did, is a small part of it. Started at the Grand Canyon and went up to Utah, just that upper little bit of it. That is elevation, and it looks like it's got some up and downs, but it wasn't too bad.
Looks like a heart rate.
It is a multi-use trail. It's designed for hikers. By the way, that looked like a blaze. We thought maybe we were on the wrong trail.
Continental Divide Trail is 3,100 miles long, and I did that little bit between the two red lines. About 3% of the trail. The part I did was contiguous with the Colorado Trail. I started at the Denver end of the Colorado Trail at 5,000 feet. Coming from Rhode Island, I wasn't sure what the elevation would do to me. And the dotted line shows the actual divide, with the orange line being the Colorado Trail.
Welcome to the Florida Trail. It's America's southernmost national scenic trail, and also the first one to cross a single state, established in 1983 and first blazed in 1966 in the Ocala National Forest by the Florida Trail Association. Our group, the Florida Trail Hikers Alliance, brings hikers together to get out there and support each other. And just to give you a look at what our trail looks like in different areas, we are a subtropical habitat, but because of the uniqueness of the Florida Peninsula, Karen Berger kind of exaggerated this 50-foot thing. 50 feet's a lot in Florida. 50 feet is a huge elevation gain.
The Ice Age Trail is over 2,000 miles long, and it generally follows the end moraines of the most recent Ice Age glaciation. It was designated a National Scenic Trail in 1980, and I chose to hike the Kettle Moraine south. This section travels through rolling terrains with outstanding examples of kettle ponds, eskers, and moraines, and the most current glacier was only 10,000 years ago. I hiked it with friends Bob and Lori Preston, who are here tonight, and we started on August 5th at Whitewater Lake.
Great. Here I am, about ready to start off. Here we go. We head down the road. About 5 miles in is where this sign is, so it really starts about 5 miles in. This is a classic example of what it is. You can see I'm going to start climbing down there. This is the monument to the War of 1812 with all the people who lost their lives. This is a historic trail. A lot of history. The Gordon House basically is an example of a house where there was a ferry, and this is where people lived, and they stopped there and went on. This is a tobacco barn. Obviously, tobacco was a big deal here. Now, I'm at mile marker 400. As you can see, there are mile markers all along the way, so you know where you are.
down in Guilford. Just the folks who contributed to this, Nan and Mike Cunningham and his friend Roger, and that's Warren. And this is Warren Axtell. And this is an example of one of the issues on the NET. I didn't actually come up with a figure, but it's probably at least half of it is on private land. And, in some cases, there's no easements or anything. It's, handshake thing like the AT was 50 years ago. And if they log it, and they may use the trail to store the logs. Okay. There's a southern terminus. Nothing too glorious. No big neon signs or anything. That's all it is.
Day hikes. This is the first sign that you tend to see. This is the point at which you start out. Basically, it's up in northern part of Duluth, and you head north from there. That's where all through hikes start. The first 42 miles, most people don't do on a through hike because they're day hikes. Here's some example. Lots of grass. Just to show you, this is a campground. All campgrounds have this. I don't know why, but this is standard. They have a fireplace. It's the only place I've been on trails where they always have a fireplace. Again, it's marked in blue. They got great signage. Again, they even label where the latrines are. Northwest in there. Here we are, Tubal, Gold Creek. This is where the trail actually comes in, and this is the first sign I've ever seen where motorbikes and ATVs were allowed on the trail. But that's the U.S. Forest Service. So this is the first entry into Olympic National Park, which is on the far east side. Tubal Cain. We'll find out a little bit about Tubal Cain in a little bit. Here we go. We go out. This is the first and last sign that you will see. You got to cross water. There's lots of water out there because the snow melts. You're only at 4 to 6,000 feet, but there's a lot of melts. Here's an example, walking through the woods, Pleasant. Here we are. We're finally up on a ridge. This is some of the scenery, lots of mountain scenery. And as always, out west, which way do you go? Because there's no sign.
We came upon a bike repair station, and Ron conveniently popped a tire so he would have to use it.
You got to see if it works.
Right beyond, just a few 50 to 100 feet beyond this bike station, he must have picked up a nail or hit a sharp rock, and he did need to change his tire. And the next day when Mike joined us, he pointed out the fact that he had a flat tire at that exact spot. It was very nice that the station was there. He could lift his bike up and hang it to change the tire. It did have the pump. It had many tools, so it was very convenient to have that right there. So that was about a mile into our first day, and then a couple miles later we did come to the Eastern Continental Divide, and that was of course, the highest point on the trail. And so
Okay, here we start out. Go ahead, next picture. Here we go, next. We got a little fog, we got a change, we're off that. Dry grass, dirt, go. Sunset, isn't that nice? That's what's really neat out there, sunset. Next. Okay, and here we are, we're climbing up. Notice we're climbing up, deep valley, the sun's there, keep going, thank you. We're finally up on top, dirt. One of the things you got to think about out there, out west is, believe it or not, when the wind's blowing, there's a lot of dirt, so make sure you got some sunglasses. And here we go, 2,600 miles. We have 52 miles to Mexico. Here we go. We're off to a start. Okay?
When the idea, when they were proposed to hike the 11 Scenic Trails last year, I thought it was really a great idea. And since I really like to hike, I thought it would be fun to try to hike 50 miles in all 11 of them. So I put my name on all of the teams. I was familiar with most of the trails and had hiked a lot of them in years past. The Appalachian Trail, the whole trail. I had hiked on the Pacific Crest Trail, 400 miles of that, and I hiked the Florida parts of the Florida Trail, the Natchez Trace, the Potomac Heritage, which I bicycled the whole Potomac Heritage from D.C. to Pittsburgh. I hiked on the North Country Trail, the Continental Divide, and some of them I had never heard of before. the New England Trail, the Arizona Trail, the Ice Age Trail, or the Pacific Northwest. So I had never hiked on those at all.